Hey, everybody, and welcome to the AnzenGuard Podcast. I'm Michael Reynolds,
And I'm Laura Wilson.
and we are so ready to dive deep with you all today into a topic that's pretty important for just about everybody. It's identity theft.
That's right.
We're going to be talking all about how to spot those warning signs before they turn into big problems.
Yeah, those little everyday things that might actually be like a red flag waving right in your face.
Exactly.
And you don't even realize it.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of great info to share with you today.
Yeah.
From some really insightful articles that we found. One from Experian, one from Identity Guard, and one from Aura.
Yeah, so we're going to be kind of pulling the best from all of them and giving you guys the ultimate guide to spotting those warning signs.
Exactly. All right, so let's jump right in.
Okay.
Where do we even begin with this? Identity theft. It's such a big topic.
Well, I think the most natural place to start is with your finances,
Okay,
because that's usually where these identity thieves try to make their first move.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So what kind of financial red flags should we be looking out for?
Okay, so first up, those bank statements and credit card bills. I know not exactly the most exciting thing to read,
Right.
but you really got to pay attention to them and look for anything that seems off.
Like what?
Well, the most obvious one is any transaction you just plain don't recognize, right? But here's the thing. A lot of times these thieves, they're getting smarter.
Oh, no.
Instead of making one giant purchase, they might test the waters with smaller amounts, just, a few dollars here and there.
So it's not always about like wait, I definitely didn't buy a yacht in the Bahamas moment.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
It's more like, did I really buy that pack of gum online?
Or that coffee.
Yeah, and that's why checking your statements regularly, like even daily if you can, is so important.
Okay, so I'm hearing daily statements.
Yeah.
Got to stay on top of it.
Because the sooner you spot something fishy, the sooner you can put a stop to it.
Okay, I'm adding check bank statements to my daily to-do list. What else?
Okay, another thing to watch out for any unexpected bills or statements, those, wait, I never signed up for this streaming service moments.
Or I thought I already paid that bill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could be a sign that somebody's trying to pull off what's called an account takeover.
Account takeover, that sounds scary.
It is. So they basically redirect your mail and intercept your bills, and then bam, they have access to all sorts of personal information.
So even if a bill just seems late, it could be a red flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay, so we've got unexpected transactions, mystery bills, missing mail, all things to watch out for. What about our credit scores?
Yes, credit scores.
Isn't a sudden drop like a huge warning sign?
It definitely can be, but here's the thing. It's often a late warning sign.
Oh, really?
Because payment history is the biggest factor in your credit score.
Yep.
So if someone opens an account in your name and doesn't pay the bills, it takes a while for that damage to actually show up.
So by the time my credit score takes a hit, the damage might already be done.
Yeah, and that's why all these other red flags we're talking about are so important.
Got it. So don't wait for your credit score to be the bearer of bad news.
Exactly.
Okay, credit monitoring is a must.
Yeah.
Now let's say you're feeling good about your credit score. You go to apply for a loan and bam, denied. Could that be a sign of identity theft?
It definitely could. And here's a little tip. Lenders are actually required to give you a reason for the denial.
Oh, that's helpful.
So don't just toss that rejection letter aside. Look for any mention of delinquencies, collections, accounts you don't recognize.
Oh, okay.
Those little details could be clues in the identity theft puzzle.
Got it. Don't ignore those rejection letters.
Uh-huh.
All right, one more financial scenario. What about when a check bounces even though you know you have the money in your account?
That's the worst feeling.
The worst.
But it might be more than just a banking error.
Oh.
Could be a sign that someone's hacked into your account and drained your funds.
Okay, officially terrified now. So we've covered a lot of ground when it comes to our finances. But identity theft can impact our lives in other ways too.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about stealing money. It's about stealing your personal information and using it for all sorts of fraud. And sometimes that can lead to some really unsettling situations.
Like what?
Imagine this. You get a warrant for your arrest.
Hold on, a warrant. But I haven't done anything wrong.
Exactly. And that's the scary part. Someone could be using your stolen information to commit crimes and then giving your name to the police when they get caught.
Oh my gosh, so you're the one in trouble.
Yeah, and that's just one example.
Okay, are there any other ways identity theft can show up outside of our finances?
Well, think about this. You start receiving medical bills for care you never received.
Oh, no.
Not only are you stuck with those bills, but you could also lose benefits because someone else has used them up.
That is a nightmare scenario.
It is a double whammy.
So we talked about our finances.
Yeah.
Some scary real-world situations. What about our digital lives?
Oh yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
Right. Are there any red flags we should be watching for online?
Absolutely. Our online accounts are a goldmine for identity thieves. So let's dive into the digital realm and see what we can find.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Let's go digital. All right, so we've talked about all these warning signs.
Yeah.
What can we actually do to protect ourselves?
Okay, so think of this as like assembling your personal security detail, your A team.
I like it. Let's do it.
First up, we need those credit reports on our side.
Okay, credit reports, I know those are important, but how often should we be checking those?
So here's the good news. You can actually get a free credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus.
You mean Experian, Equifax, TransUnion?
Yep, those guys every single year.
Every year. I thought it was less often than that.
Nope, every year. And a little trick to maximize that is to stagger your requests.
Ooh, I like tricks.
So maybe you grab one from Experian in January, then Equifax in May, TransUnion in September. That way you're getting updates more frequently and have a better chance of catching anything suspicious early on.
I love that tip. I'm setting reminders right now.
Oh.
Okay, what's next on our security detail checklist?
Let's talk fraud alerts.
Fraud alerts. What are those?
Okay, so think of them as like little alarm bells that go off if anyone tries to open a new credit account in your name.
Oh, that's good.
It's really easy to set them up. You just contact one of the credit bureaus and they'll notify the other 2 for you.
So it's like a heads up that something fishy might be happening.
Exactly. It gives you a chance to investigate and stop any fraudulent activity right away.
Fraud alerts, check.
Ugh.
What about credit freezes? Are those the same thing?
They're similar, but a credit freeze is more like hitting the pause button on your credit altogether.
What does that mean?
It basically blocks anyone from accessing your credit report.
So no one, not even me, can open new accounts.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty extreme measure, but it can be super effective if you're really concerned about security.
Like if you've already been a victim of identity theft?
Yeah, or if you just want that extra layer of protection.
Got it. So it's like the nuclear option for credit security.
You could say that, but keep in mind that thawing your credit can take a few days, so it's not something you want to do if you're planning to apply for credit anytime soon.
Good to know. Credit freezes are a good tool to have, but I'll be strategic about using them. Now we've covered credit monitoring and all those security measures.
Yeah.
What about my online accounts? Any tips for keeping those safe?
Okay, so strong, unique passwords are absolutely essential for every single online account.
I know. It's like trying to remember a million different combinations.
I hear ya, but trust me, it's worth the effort.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Any tips for managing all those passwords, though?
Password managers,
Password managers, what are those?
they're like a digital vault for all your login information. They can generate and remember those super complex passwords for you so you don't have to.
Oh, that's a game changer.
Right, yeah.
Password manager going on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Anything else I can do to fortify my online accounts?
Definitely enable 2-factor authentication whenever possible.
What's that?
It's basically an extra layer of security. It requires you to enter a code from your phone or email in addition to your password when logging in.
So even if someone steals my password, they can't get into my account without that code.
Exactly. It's like having a double-bolted door for your online accounts.
Love it double bolted is good.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned data breaches earlier, and I'm still a little freaked out about that whole dark web thing. Is there anything I can do to minimize the damage if my data does get compromised?
Absolutely. Be mindful of what information you share online. Remember, the less personal data you put out there, the less there is to steal.
So maybe think twice before posting my entire life story on social media.
Yeah, exactly. Be selective about what you share and be extra careful with any requests for sensitive information, especially if they seem suspicious.
So like those "you've won $1 million" emails.
Exactly. Those are a big no-no. And watch out for any suspicious links or attachments, especially in emails from people you don't know.
Okay, no clicking on anything that looks fishy.
Yeah.
Got it. What about attachments?
Same deal. If you're not expecting it, or if it seems weird, don't open it.
Okay, all good advice. But what if, despite my best efforts, I do become a victim of identity theft? What do I do then?
Okay, that's a great question, and it's important to be prepared. The most important thing is to act fast.
Okay, act fast. Got it.
The sooner you report the theft, the sooner you can start limiting the damage.
Okay, so who do I call? Ghostbusters. Just kidding.
Yes,
Who do I report this to?
Your first call should be to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC.
Okay, the FTC got it.
They have a ton of resources online, and they can walk you through the process of filing a report and creating a recovery plan.
Okay, FTC it is. What else?
You'll want to contact your bank, credit card companies, and any other financial institutions that might be affected.
Just to let them know that my accounts have been compromised.
Yep, they can help you secure your accounts and prevent any further fraudulent activity.
And should I contact those credit bureaus we talked about earlier?
Absolutely. You'll want to put a fraud alert or credit freeze on your credit reports to stop those thieves from opening new accounts in your name.
It's like I'm taking back control.
Exactly.
This is a lot, but I'm feeling a lot more empowered now. Is there anything else I should be doing to protect myself?
Here's one last super important thing. Guard your Social Security number like it's the crown jewels.
Okay, treat it like gold.
More like platinum. Never carry your Social Security card in your wallet and only give out your number when absolutely necessary.
My Social Security card is going straight into a safe when I get home.
Good. And one last tip, if you ever get any calls or emails asking for your Social Security number, hang up or hit delete immediately. It's most likely a scam.
Got it. Now, this has been an incredibly informative deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much about how to protect myself from identity theft. Are there any new trends or threats on the horizon that we should be aware of?
That's a great question, and there's actually one trend in particular that's pretty concerning.
Oh, what is it?
It's called synthetic identity theft.
Synthetic identity theft. That sounds intense.
It is. So basically, thieves create a fake identity by combining real and fabricated information.
So it's like they're building a whole new person out of thin air.
Exactly. And then they use this fake identity to open accounts, rack up debt, and disappear without a trace.
Wow. That is seriously sneaky. Is there any way to protect myself from this kind of scam?
The best defense is just to be extra vigilant. Pay close attention to anything that seems off. If you get any credit card offers or loan applications addressed to someone you don't know, don't just toss them, report them as potential fraud.
Got it. Report anything suspicious, no matter how small it seems.
Oh,
This has been incredibly helpful. Before we wrap up, could you just recap the top 3 things I should do today to stay safe?
okay. So first, check your credit reports regularly. Remember, you can get a free one from each bureau every year.
Yep.
Second, set up those fraud alerts on your credit reports.
Got it.
And finally, be super careful about what information you share online.
Okay. Less is more.
Exactly. The less data you put out there, the less there is to steal.
Great advice. I know I'll be sleeping better tonight knowing I'm taking these steps to protect myself. Is there anything else we should cover before we wrap up?
Just remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about identity theft, the better you'll be at protecting yourself. And even though it can feel overwhelming, taking these steps can really make a huge difference in keeping your identity secure.
You know, it's crazy how much we just take our identities for granted until we realize how vulnerable they really are.
Yeah, it's true. We just go about our day sharing information online, making purchases, and all that without really thinking about who might be watching.
And the consequences can be huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not just about the money.
Right.
It can affect our medical records.
Even our freedom in some cases.
It's scary stuff.
It is.
That's why I'm so glad we did this deep dive today.
Me too.
We've learned so much about how to protect ourselves.
And it's not just about reacting after something bad has already happened.
Yeah.
It's about being proactive and taking those steps to prevent it in the first place.
It's like we're building a fortress around our identities.
Exactly. Making it as tough as possible for those identity thieves to get in.
And the best part is you don't have to be some kind of tech genius to do it.
Right.
A lot of these things are really simple.
Like checking your credit reports, setting up those fraud alerts, and just being mindful of what you share online.
Exactly. So to wrap things up, what's the one thing our listeners can do today, right now, to start taking control of their identity security?
I would say the most important thing is awareness. Just pay attention to those red flags we talked about and don't ignore them.
Right. Trust your gut.
Exactly. If something feels off, it probably is.
So true.
Hmm.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the world of identity theft.
It has.
I know I've learned a ton, and I hope our listeners have too. I'm Michael Reynolds.
And I'm Laura Wilson.
Thanks for joining us on the AnzenGuard Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode with everyone you know so we can all stay safe out there.
Until next time.